Welcome to JazTime. Today we're going to be reviewing two watches. The one that you see on the right is the Rolex Submariner Ceramic 16613 Blue, and the one you see on the left is the Rolex Explorer 214270. Now both of these are going to be a 2016 version, and you're probably wondering what are the differences, why I might want to buy one versus the other. Now we're going to go through that today in the video. Now let's dive right in. First of all, looking at the dial itself, you'll notice on the right for the Submariner, it has this big clunky thing. This thing's called the bezel. Now what is the bezel for? Well, this bezel is for counting elapsed time. Now when I turn the purloin to the minute, I can calculate the elapsed time that goes by. As this minute hand moves to the right, it will correspond to this bezel marking on where my thumb is pointing. And that'll tell me how much time has passed. So for example, after 10 minutes, it would look something like that. You'll also notice here on the right hand side that you'll see a date with a bubble. That is going to be different than the Explorer, which is going to be more a bare bones. And you're probably wondering, well, why is that? Is it because they're cheap? No, of course, if they wanted to do a date, they would do it. But in fact, this Explorer has the history reaching as far back as the 50s, where Hillary and Kensington wore this watch to the top of Mount Everest. And they didn't want a date, they didn't want a elapsed time, they wanted a watch that was going to get you from here to there without any issues. And that's why they created the Explorer. This watch doesn't have a date, and it doesn't have a fancy bezel, but it does tell the time. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the other differences between this watch. Now the one on the right has a 40 millimeter diameter, meaning from your left here to the purloin to the right measures 40 millimeter. Now the one on the right measures 39 millimeter. From the left to the right, 39 millimeter. And side by side, they look almost the same. They're only 1 millimeter apart. Now the one on the right, the Submariner, looks a lot bigger. Well, that's because of the bezel. Now let's look at the case. When you hold the case side by side, what do you notice about the case? The lugs are actually a lot fatter on the right. Do you notice that? Well, that's because it's the Submariner case, and the one on the left is the Oyster case. Okay? Now, we know from experience from the last few videos that the profile on the Submariner, profile meaning width, is important because it needs to fit under your suit cuff, right? Now we know that to be 12 millimeters. Now what is it on the Explorer? Because the Explorer, let's take a look and see what this says here. It says 11.77, which for all intents and purposes is pretty much 12 millimeters. So in terms of width, they're also the same. Okay? Now let's take a look at the bracelet itself. Now, of course, you see the Submariner here has the center thing, and that's gold, 18 karat yellow gold, in fact. And the one on the left is all stainless steel. And another difference is that the Explorer that you see on the left is all brushed steel. There is no high polish. And that's because it's a more rugged watch. Presumably, you'd be wearing this while you're climbing a super high mountain, and it might scratch. But the thing is, with satin finished bracelets, it doesn't show up as much as opposed to the Submariner that has a high polish center links. Okay. Now let's take a look at the clasp. Now both of these watches, since they are sports watches, are going to have what's called the Rolex Oyster safety clasp. And I'm going to explain what that means. This is the Oyster clasp. Click. And this itself is the safety clasp, meaning it's a safety. It's not going to just pop open. You have to unclip it like that. And that's the case on both the Submariner and the Explorer. Now, one of the neat things about the Submariner, I've shown it to you in previous videos, is that you see this here, you can actually adjust the bracelet by pulling out. And you can adjust the size immediately. Now, unfortunately, you can't do that with the Explorer. Okay, you see here, when I unclip it, there's only one extra place where I can adjust it. But I can push it in like that, and That's one adjustment. Now if it gets hot, I can pull it out and I can pull it all the way where it doesn't clip in, and it looks like this, but that'll allow it for one measurement larger, but not like the Submariner where I can make it a lot. Okay, so let's take a look at these two watches side by side again. Now again, both of these are going to be glowing in the dark, and both of them are going to have the Oyster clasp. Where they differ is where I was telling you guys before. Now if I've missed anything in this comparison, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys have to think. I told you what I think. It's your turn. Now if you like this video or you want to see other videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Watch the rest of our videos. You might find something you like, and if you do, go to JazTime.com. That's JazTime.com. We offer a 1-year warranty, free shipping, and a low price guarantee. Check us out there. See you guys soon.